All right, good morning and welcome everyone. This is our Friday TeloYouth webinar, and today we're going to really focus on an area that is so important to our overall healing, health, and well-being, and that is the gut. Dr. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Tina. Good morning, everyone. And yes, this is a great one. Your gut impacts everything. Our journey this morning is with the three forms the body synergistically uses: the gut flora, prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. And we'll get into the details on that. These are essential components that the body uses to rejuvenate. So these links that we're going to be using are so important that you understand what we're talking about. So you look at sleep, food, exercise, stress, they're all impacted with these different microbes. And so you see the dynamics that happen with deficiency and toxicity and how to reduce inflammation. It's all connected. So just to help you through this purification and restoration process, really pay attention to what we're going to teach and take good notes. Right, Dr. Tina?
Yes, the gut is so responsible for helping with purification. It's how we eliminate. So hopefully we're all eliminating very regularly and getting those toxins out of the body. And you start looking at also what does it mean to absorb nutrients? All of that goes through our gut. So what causes these stressors? Environmental toxins. I would say the number one assault right now on our gut and breaking down the lining of our gut are those pesticides and herbicides and all of the chemicals. We are not chemicals. We are nature. And so what happens is these chemicals come in and they truly break down all of the good bacteria in our gut. Processed foods. By the way, there's a lawsuit in California against the government and some of these other places, or these companies, excuse me, against the companies that make processed foods, knowing that these truly ultra processed foods are so toxic and causing so many health issues for people. So processed foods, stay away from processed foods. If you are going to any fast food, through any fast foods, or anything in a box or a bag, or a can, just know that you're looking at processed foods here as excess alcohol. And we say excess alcohol, meaning, it's okay to have a little here and there, but excess is very toxic. Chronic stress. Oh my gosh. Just increase your cortisol level and go through an emotional upset, and you will completely shut down your gut and your liver function. Medications, they're number one, very, very toxic. What is our mindset? Our mindset here is about regeneration, not degeneration. Medications are okay if you need them for a short period of time, but our mindset is to help you get off those medications. Let your body take care of itself as much as you possibly can. Poor digestion. Okay, weak digestion puts a strain on that liver to filter toxins, and our liver has to be optimal to be able to help our gut. Stuck emotions, fear and anger. If you haven't processed emotional challenges and you've only suppressed them, you are also not taking care of your gut. Microplastics. These are deposits in our tissues contributing to the progression of our liver disease. And you look at all this and, don't get overwhelmed. Just know you have to just be ahead of it and do something that will help, do the best you can at keeping your water clean, your foods clean, and then we'll talk about the other areas next. Dr. Chris.
Yeah, this is a great chart from the standpoint of understanding the gut lining has a global reach throughout the body. And you see the word on the left side is dysbiosis and restoration on the right side, but actually that restoration should say probiosis. So there's dysbiosis and probiosis. And we're going to help you understand how to make it a positive way And the good thing about this slide is you see the global approach to the whole body. So brain, heart, respiratory, liver, kidney, just the digestive system, the conditions like diabetes and vaginitis and cancers and inflammatory bowel diseases. So it's not a pretty picture, and we're making it a pretty picture when you understand how to work with it, Dr. Tina.
Yes. So in addition, everybody's got some kind of imbalance going on over here. So the focus is looking at this center area so that you can shift over into that probiosis and and stay there. So this is very, very doable. Just know it takes a lot of time and focus and strategy to get yourself over into this area so that just think about it. If you have a brain disorder or you have something going on with your heart, you have dysbiosis over here in your gut first. And these imbalanced gut systems, I mean, just think about leaky brain. If you have leaky gut, you have leaky brain. What does that mean? It means that you're going to have brain fog, anxiety, depression, irritability, poor concentration. Your moods are going to be off. This is real. So, what can you do? Let's talk about some of these things that you can do.
This is how we work with the central computers. We're talking about, the brain and the gut. So with the prebiotics, we set the stage for the ideal environment. So non-digestible food components that feed good bacteria in your gut, found in the fruits and vegetables that contain fiber and starch, like apples, asparagus, onions. And it can also taken as a supplement. So this is unique. Not many of us know about inulin and Jerusalem artichoke, but these are ways that you get your prebiotics so that your probiotics just flourish. They really take off because they've been fed appropriately, Dr. Tina.
Yes, and just know that remember an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That apple peel. So don't peel your apples. The apple peel is where the prebiotics are. And when you look at inulin, inulin is in your TeloYouth. So we're already helping you with your gut with a prebiotic. Think about it. Prebiotics feed probiotics. Okay, so the good prebiotics are going to feed that. So all of those, and you can look this up too on the internet, all of the different foods that you can have in your diet that are so good and they're known as prebiotics. Then we have the probiotics. Now, probiotics, this is really you got to be careful with probiotics. We prefer that you get these microorganisms or this bacteria through your foods, like your yogurt, your kimchi, your sauerkraut. We'll go into those even more, but it can also be taken as a supplement. So people just think, okay, well, I'll just go get a good probiotic. You need to be aware. Not all probiotics are created equal. People are overdoing their probiotics and they're ending up with bloated bellies. And this is called SIBO. That's a whole different presentation that we'll go into at one point. But probiotics, they're very key strains that you need to have to keep your leaky gut from becoming, or your gut from becoming a leaky gut. A leaky gut means that you're really, really inflamed in your belly, whether it's the small intestine or the colon. So keep in mind, every culture, pardon that pun, it's kind of funny, every culture has a food or foods that have fed those good microorganisms in the gut with the good probiotics. So we'll talk about some of the key strains afterwards too.
Exactly. And we have to contribute to, our body's balance and health through the postbiotics. And this is the new science, really. We're just discovering how important the postbiotics and how they're manifesting in the body. So you have byproducts of the probiotics, the fermentation, that create the short chain fatty acids and peptides. And this is why your body has to make these. It's not something that's just a supplement. And it is a rare supplement, but it's not readily available. So you have a found, we found resistant starch foods like green bananas, cooked and cooled potatoes and rice. These are things that you can prepare to support this. And Dr. Tina, you're a real master at knowing how to make these good foods and prepare them
Mhm.
for the postbiotics. And this is what I was referring to as far as there is a supplement called butyrate, but it's not, that readily available at a health food store. So again, the way is to do it through your diet. Dr. Tina.
As far as when we talk about resistant starch foods, this is so important. I mean, I will not eat a green banana. It's not going to happen for me. However, if you cook and cool rice, potatoes, uh, even sweet potatoes, it's a starch when it's hot and you eat it, and it creates sugars in your body. And that's when we get this extra glucose, and then we end up getting fat because we have too much sugar in our body. However, when you cook and cool the rice, let it sit for 10 minutes, or your potatoes, or sweet potatoes, you will be able to change. It changes the structure of that food into a postbiotic. And then when you eat it, what happens is it combines with the or the probiotics, and then it creates this short chain fatty acid and these peptides, these proteins. And what they do is it actually cleans out your gut. It helps to balance your blood sugars. So it's not, we have to be careful and not think that these starches are bad foods. It's how we eat them that's important. And it's okay to put good fats on them, like grass-fed butter, or put on, good olive oil, or coconut oil, but you don't want to pour sugar on it, or, any of those, bad things that are going to create it more of a glucose, I would say, so that your body blood sugars go up. So just know that this is a natural process in the body, and you can do all of this with food, so you don't have to take another supplement.
This is a great topic here because our foods are Americanized, and we really have to learn how to take advantage of the old world diet and the intelligence that's there. So you see that there's all these different forms of you know probiotics that we can support with our foods, and so the the list there here is very interesting. Where the next slide here, Dr. Tina, I think you haven't got that yet. There we are. So you all heard about sauerkraut. Well, it's not spicy, but you look at the Asian cultures and the kimchi. The kimchi is like the fermented forms of the vegetables, but there's many forms of kimchi. So you're looking at different strains. There's fermented ginger. There's the pickles. There's the beet kvass. This is out of Eastern Europe. We experienced this when we were in Russia, Dr. Tina. And
Yep.
then, of course, the fermented sorted veggies, grass fed yogurt, and kefir. That's becoming more familiar. But remember, it's the form that is full cultured and it's still alive. So these are the things you need to know when you do the shopping. Grass fed cheese, coconut milk yogurt, or kefir. If you don't handle dairy very well, there's alternatives you can use, and fermented soy, natto, miso, tempeh, and these are all part of the Asian culture. And then there's kombucha. You know, this started back in the 80s, and now we see it just global. It's in the health food stores in different forms, different flavors, but it all started at something that we made in the kitchen with this mushroom, the very special mushroom called kombucha. Dr. Tina.
Yes, and we've got to fly through this. The other thing with is apple cider vinegar. I'm going to back up to this. Just know, take a picture of this these are the clinical reasons why you want to eat these foods. It's a natural way, by the way, when you ferment foods, it removes the toxins from the food. What do we have an abundance of? Toxins. You're going to improve your digestion. You're going to have faster healing from colds and flus. We are in that season. And the anti-aging effects. By the way, fermenting foods is very affordable as well. And so we want to just talk also here a little bit about the quantum rejuvenation program. When you're looking at the program, we can increase your own stem cell release into the body with level 1, level 2, level 3, and just know that we were in California this last week, and actually this week, and I missed our Korean food of kimchi and some of the other fermented foods, Dr. Kress, when we were there. Boy, I always love coming to California and being able to have those foods, and we didn't get to have them, and it was like, oh no. But they're so brilliant in the way that they prepare foods that you just got to make sure you eat them and get them in because they do support your gut and digestion and all those things that we talked about.